لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فإن خير الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. أما بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون أياما معدودات فمن كان منكم مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخرى وعلى الذين يطيقونه فدية طعام مسكين فمن تطوع خيرا فهو خير له وأن تصوموا خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون. شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصم ومن كان مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر يريد الله بكم اليسر ولا يريد بكم العسر ولتكملوا العدة ولتكبروا الله على ما هداكم ولعلكم تشكرون. صدق الله العظيم. Amma ba'd, all praises are due to Allah. We thank and praise Him, testifying that there is no deity worthy of worship except Allah Azza wa Jalla, and that Muhammad is His servant and messenger. May the peace and mercy of Allah be upon him. وَمَنْ تَبِعَهُمْ بِإِحْسَانٍ إِلَى يَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ أو إِلَى يَوْمِ الدِّينِ. Tabarakallah, brothers and sisters in Islam, we are blessed yet again. We are blessed yet again to be part of those who would be fasting the month of Ramadan. We are blessed yet again. We are giving the opportunity in order to get closer to Allah. We are giving the opportunity in order to make the essence of our lives. Because there is a purpose of life. When we stand upon that purpose, we will be successful. There is the essence of life. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make taqwa the essence of our entire life. By fasting, Allah promised to give us taqwa. Allah is not in need of our hunger. Allah doesn't want to starve us. if at all we are getting hungry, so that during the day Allah will take the food that was meant to be eaten to benefit others, then we would say Allah is in need of the food. But He's not in need of anything that He is asking us to keep away from. No wonder fasting, if it's limited to lack of eating and drinking, then there's no point to fast. The Prophet said we can carry on and eat and drink. Allah is not in need of an individual fasting when he cannot avoid the prohibitions. So fasting, as we all know, is to keep away from food, drink, from dawn to sunset, preceded by the intention of pleasing Allah. This is how important niyyah is. This is how important intention is. If an individual says, as I'm standing right now, if I have the intention that I want to break my fast, but there is no food available to eat and no drink available to eat, the easiest way to break my fast is the intention. If I say to myself, I'm ready to break my fast, and it so happens that I cannot get food anywhere, there is no water anywhere, then this fasting that I was doing has been rendered off, has been nullified, because the intention matters. However important an action is, if it's not preceded by the intention, Allah is not interested at all. And by default, Ramadan and fasting is only done with sincerity. Why did Allah say that fasting is for me and I reward for it? How about other deeds? How about Hajj? How about Zakat? How about Salah? The one that was given to Rasulullah. That doesn't mean that those are not for him. What it actually means is you cannot show off fasting. You cannot fast for anyone other than Allah. That's why He said it's for Him and He will pay for it. There is no chance of riyah. There is no chance of showing off. Even though showing off is very inconspicuous in the eyes of Allah. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Ar-riya," showing off, doing things for show, and not pleasing Allah. It is so inconspicuous, it's more inconspicuous than a black ant. The Prophet said, showing off is more inconspicuous than a black ant crawling on a black mountain in the middle of the night. How would you see that ant? A black ant. Menem menewa mimbe findi. Konko kal mimbe findi. Dibo kono ibo jela nyadi. This is Riyah. A black ant. This is how inconspicuous it is. So that an individual might be involved in Riyah, thinking he is doing the right thing, when in actual fact the intention is not to please Allah. Sufyan Thawri would cry the whole night. He would cry the whole night. And upon inquiries, Sufyan, why are you crying? He said, I'm not sure if my actions are purely to please Allah or if they are for sure. Hassan al-Basri said, Wallahi, for 40 years, I have never opened my mouth for 40 years. I have never spoken or decided not to speak. I have never touched with my hand or held back. I've never walked or decided not to walk, except that I was sure, without doubt, that I was doing this for Allah. For 40 years, not 40 days. Hassan al-Basri said, I can confirm to you, Wallahi, for 40 years, everything that I said and everything that I decide not to say, everything that I touch and everything that I decide not to touch, wherever I went to or wherever I decide not to go, it was for the sake of Allah. For 40 years. And each time I have to sit back, ask myself, is this for Allah or for sure? So when we fast, we don't show off. We need to carry this on board so that after Ramadan, it remains with us. This is the purpose of fasting. It's not to keep us hungry all the time or lack of food. No wonder the Prophet said, an individual will fast the whole day and he wouldn't earn anything in that fasting apart from hunger. And will pray the whole night and nothing will be out of lack of sleep. Why? Because it's not followed by sincerity, or the prohibitions are not avoided for the one that has fasted. The purpose of fasting is not for hunger. It's not for hunger. But by being hungry, we train ourselves, we train our desires that are inclined to evil. We train them so that they will be prepared. It's an MOT for the system that has to remain. Prepare the system so that for the next 11 months, imagine a car running non-stop 24 hours. Eventually, it will be the end of it. It has some spiritual benefits and, of course, worldly benefits. So fasting is to have taqwa, piety. KHUTBA alaykum as-siyam. Fasting during the month of Ramadan has been prescribed. It's a must that you have to fast. It has been commanded. You don't have a choice. As it has been commanded, prescribed upon people before you came, before you. Ibn Abbas said the people of the book used to fast before Islam. And in some narration, they used to fast 3 days every month. Which is not a direct hadith from the Prophet, but from these Sahabis who are giving the glad tidings of Jannah. The only difference is the way they fasted might be different from ours. Like the fasting of Zachariah. Allah said to Zachariah, fast, but your fasting is don't talk. قَالَ رَبِّ جَعَلْ لِي آيَةً قَالَ آيَتُكَ أَلَّا تُكَلِّمَ النَّاسَ ثَلَاثَ لَيَالٍ سَوِيًّا. Ya Allah, give me a sign. Zachariah, your sign is do not talk to anyone for 3 consecutive days. Maryam was asked to eat and drink. We are asked not to eat and not to drink. That's our fasting or part of our fasting. Maryam was asked, eat, Maryam, drink, kuli washrabi wa qarri aina. But the first is, you say to men, inni, that's Maryam, inni nadhartu lirrahmani sawman falan ukallima al-yawma insiya. I've taken a vow with Rahman, I've taken a vow with Allah not to speak to anyone today. What is fasting? What is the actual meaning of fasting in English? Abstaining from. We are asked to abstain from food, drink, cohabitation from the break of dawn till sunset, preceded by the right intention to please Allah. Maryam was asked to abstain from talking. Inni nadartu lirrahmani sawman falan ukallima al-yawma insiya. I'm not going to speak to anyone today. So what can be achieved or what can be toiled for 12 months or throughout your life could be achieved within a month? That's taqwa. What is taqwa? It's the essence of our being. It's the essence of our being. So that we are even reminded at the beginning of the khutbah. Allah said, don't let the angel of death visit you without taqwa. I've created you for taqwa. Don't die unless you come with a package of taqwa. We are promised taqwa if at all we fasted properly. Let's consider ourselves as eggs. Si c'est foya biti in kamba ay dimo sotono. Ganar fok mu bof kilo foya biti in kamba ay kesi seti. Ganar fok mu bof ko pour mu muna nek net. Now let's consider ourselves as eggs. Just consider yourself as eggs. And when you are within the incubation period, you don't need to expose any part of that egg. If you want it to hatch to chicks, it should be there. So we are eggs. and the incubating period is 29 or 30 days. And we need to be in the environment of that hen. We don't expose ourselves in any way. So that when you fast, every part of you fast. If you fast and the eye decide not to fast, the egg is being exposed. If you fast and the mouth decide not to fast, the egg is being exposed. If you fast going to places you're not supposed to go, the egg is being exposed. If you fast listening to stuff that wouldn't help, it's exposed. And when it's time for the egg to be hatched, then it would remain an egg. So the person that was there before Ramadan is the same person. Nothing has changed. Where is taqwa? Allah said, I'll give you another time, provided. I'll give you another chance, provided you're supposed to live till then. Many people were supposed to be with us today. They are in the grave. Allah said, I'll give you the time. But on condition, I have shortlisted you among those who will live next year. If you are not, unfortunately, you have not Hajj and you are in trouble. Because taqwa is the essence of our life. Allah makes taqwa the condition for our sins to be forgiven. Allah makes taqwa the condition for our good deeds to be increased. And in the day of Qiyamah, it is the good deeds that would determine Jannah. Allah made taqwa the condition for every problem without limit. Every problem to be solved with taqwa. Allah made taqwa the condition to provide us with means that we do not even expect. Every act of worship in Islam is purposely to bring in taqwa. Like I said, Allah made taqwa the condition for our sins to be forgiven. وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يُكَفِّرَ عَنْهُ سَيِّئَاتِهِ وَيُعْزِمْ لَهُ أَجْرًا. Whoever has taqwa, whoever has piety, whoever is conscious of Allah, يُكَفِّرَ عَنْهُ سَيِّئَاتِهِ. His evil deeds are expiated. وَيُعْزِمْ لَهُ أَجْرًا. And Allah will enlarge, He will enlarge His good deeds for him. Whatever hardship there is, taqwa said, I'm here to rid you of that hardship. وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا. Makhraj, ways out. If you fear Allah, you are stuck. Open the door. There are so many ways for you to go out. That's the exigency. That's the exigency. You can exit anywhere. On condition you have taqwa. And it's not only limited to that. And that He will provide for you. وَيَرْزُقْهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ. He will provide for you from means that you have never expected before. On condition there is taqwa. The Quran, شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. The month of Ramadan in which the Quran has been revealed. What is the Quran? What is it? Hudan linnas. This is a guidance for mankind, without which we are doomed to hell. Hudan linnas. وَبَيِّنَاتٍ مِّنَ الْهُدَى is a clear proof for guidance. وَالْفُرْقَانِ and the criterion. This Quran, as important it is only meant for those who have taqwa. Alif Lam Mim, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. إِنَّ اللَّهَ جَمِيلٌ يُحِبُّ الجَّمَالَ. Allah is beautiful and He loves beauty. No wonder He said in the Quran, خُذُوا زِينَتَكُمْ إِنَّ كُلِّ مَسْجِدٍ. Dress well when you go for Jummah. Allah wants us to dress well. But وَلِبَاسُ التَّقْوَى ذَلِكَ خَيْرٌ. But the clothing of taqwa, that's better. Dress well on the outside, but let the inside, let there be taqwa. That's better. Allah asked us to present ourselves. A man came to Rasulullah dressed in rags, and the Prophet ﷺ said, is this the only thing that you have? He said, no, Ya Rasulallah, I've got other things at home. He said, go back home and dress well. Allah wants to see athari ni'mati. He wants to see the signs of His favors on you. Don't pretend as if Allah has not done anything for you. As important as this is, Allah said, وَلِبَاسُ التَّقْوَى ذَلِكَ خَيْرٌ. The clothing of piety, that's better. I'm going for Hajj. Allah said, take whatever with you that is halal. But then, وَتَزَوَّدُوا فَإِنَّ خَيْرَ الزَّادِ تَقْوَى. The best of provision is piety. So this is the essence of our life. As far as Islam is concerned, whatever direction we turn to, we will always find taqwa is a requirement. Taqwa is a prerequisite. And that determines our success in this life and the life hereafter without fail. No man is perfect. We don't expect 100% taqwa. That's why we're training ourselves all the time. Ramadan avails us the opportunity to have this taqwa within a month. Forget about not eating. Forget about not drinking. Allah said, I will reward for that. The Prophet said, As-siyamu junnah, that fasting is a shield. Fasting is a protection. He said, whoever fasted, let him not touch his wife. What does that mean? Whoever fasted, let him not try to satisfy his desire. Because give everything to Allah. The love, the desire, the attention, and everything. Give everything to Allah. Other than that, touching your wife is a reward. You owe it to yourself to eat and drink. But Allah said, don't do that. Do all these sacrifices for Allah. Fasting is a shield, a protection. Whoever fasted, let him not touch his wife. And he said, whoever fasted, let him not badmouth anyone. Let him not badmouth anyone. Say to yourself, Tabarakallah, we are 4 days today. We still have another 25 days. This is an opportunity. It's never too late. Say to yourself, from now on until Eid, I won't open my mouth and say anything that's haram to anyone. Directly or indirectly. I won't listen to any evil. I don't have that time. I won't go anywhere that I'm not supposed to go. Every second of this Ramadan, I will utilize in reciting the Quran, in enjoying good, in preventing evil, in listening to that which is good, going there that which is good. I would decide to make the most of this Ramadan. It's going to be my best, inshallah. Unless if Allah decides otherwise, but that is how determined I am. We need to be prepared. So the Prophet ﷺ said, do not badmouth anyone. If we squeeze inshallah and allow space for some. The Prophet ﷺ said, do not badmouth anyone. And if someone comes to you quarreling, arguing, insulting, abusing, attacking, if someone comes to you in a negative way, say to him, I am fasting. I am fasting. I am fasting 3 times. Why was the need for Rasulullah to emphasize this to the extent that it has to be recited 3 times? He said, I swear by him in whose hand is my soul, that the smell coming out of the mouth of the fasting person is preferred by Allah to the smell of musk. And there is a misinterpretation to this. Some would conclude by even saying, don't use the chewing stick in Susara, Miswa. That is Sunnah. The smell coming is not out of not using the chewing stick, no. The smell coming is due to the fact that there is no food or drink or nothing has entered. So the combination of chemicals might come out with a unique smell. So regardless, it will always be there. So it's sunnah to use that. The Prophet said Allah preferred this. If you're not happy with the smell, Allah likes it more than the best of musk. And Allah said in Hadith Qudsi, my servant, he left his eating, he left his drink, he left his desire for my sake. Fasting is for me, وَأَنَا أَجِزِي بِهِ. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين من كل ذنب فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. اللهم إن الحمد لله نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. Amma ba'd, brothers and sisters, in this month we can make hay while the sun shines. It's the month of sadaqah. It's the month of patience. It's the month of generosity. It's the month of mercy. It's the month of forgiveness. It's the month of emancipation from Allah. Between us and Allah and among ourselves. It is the month of unity. Muslims fast together and they break the fast together. We should learn from there that we are all one. إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةٌ فَأَصْلِحُوا بَيْنَ أَخَوَيْكُمْ وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ لَعَلَّكُمْ تُرْحَمُونَ. Muslims are one brotherhood. Fasting brings that. We all fast. I don't have anything to do with you, but we will all fast together. I don't have anything to do with you, but we'll all break the fast together. That in itself is a reminder that we should come together all the time and make the most of Ramadan. Let it not be an empty package. Everything, as far as prohibition is concerned, keep away from it. Don't wrong your friend. Do not backbite. Do not insult. Do not abuse. Do not spy. Do not. Just follow the do nots from Allah and act upon it. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. La yaskhar qawmun min qawmin. Asa an yakunu khayran minhum. ولا نساء من نساء عسى أن يكن خيرا منهن ولا تلمزوا أنفسكم ولا تنابزوا بالألقاب بئس اسم الفسوق بعد الإيمان ومن لم يتب فأولئك هم الظالمون. Allah said, I'm talking to you guys with Iman. Let not one group laugh at another one because that group may be better than you. Let not one person laugh at another one because that person may be better than you. Let not one tribe laugh at another one because that tribe may be better than you. Let not one color laugh at another one because that color may be better than you. Let not one Muslim laugh at a non-Muslim. And let not the women folk laugh, a group of women or an individual, let them not laugh at another group of women because they may be better than them. وَلَا نِسَاءٌ مِّن نِسَاءٍ عَسَىٰ أَن يَكُنَّ خَيْرًا مِّنْهُمْ وَلَا تَلْمِزُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ. Do not defame each other. Do not make it your cup of tea to defame another one. وَلَا تَلْمِزُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ وَلَا تَنَابَزُوا بِالْأَلْقَابِ. Do not insult each other with nickname. If you are Muhammad, it's not Mo, it's Muhammad. Unless if Muhammad wants to be called Mo, then rectify him that it should be Muhammad. If someone is called Muhammad, don't call him the sinner. Muhammad Kafiro. Bad boy. Do not insult each other with nicknames. وَلَا تَنَابَزُوا بِالْأَلْقَابِ بِئْسَ اسْمُ الْفُسُوقِ. What an evil act. What an evil action to call someone a bad name after he has called himself a Muslim. In another verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, do not spy on each other. Do not backbite each other. Do you want to? Do you want to eat the flesh of your brother whilst he is dead? If you hate that, hate backbiting, because that's the same as backbiting. So we make hay, brothers and sisters, while the sun shines, keep away from all the prohibitions, so as to earn this noble thing called taqwa that is centered around our entire life. When we do that, then we start benefiting from the benefits of Ramadan. One hadith regarding the benefits of Ramadan, only one out of the lot is enough for us to fast and earn that benefit. Among them, the Prophet said, Man shama Ramadan, imanan wa ihtisaba, ghufira lahu ma taqaddama min dhanbi. Whoever fasts Ramadan with full faith, expecting reward from Allah, all the past sins are forgiven. And these are the things that would determine, the sins are the things that would determine whether the individual goes to Jannah or not. Fasting Ramadan suffices for that. Even the Nawafil prayer. Because the Prophet said Allah made fasting obligatory. And obviously an obligatory act during Ramadan is multiplied 70 times. And he made Nawafil. In Hadith Qudsi, Allah made Nawafil, Taraweeh, optional, maximum. I'm so tired, but it takes 30 minutes. What's the reward? Man qama Ramadana imanan wa ihtisaba ghufira lahu ma taqaddama min dhanbi. Whoever stands in prayer, nawafil prayer, every day for maybe 30 minutes. If worst case scenario, if you can go to the mosque, pray at home, at least 30 minutes. If you are at work, pray during time, during break time, but at least perform your nawafil salah. 30 minutes every day for 30 months, all your sins forgiven. It's worth it. It's worth it. A gate in Jannah called Ar-Rayyan, only meant for the fasting. Imagine if Allah said, where are those who fasted on the day of Qiyamah? Everyone stood up and the individual sits down because he wasn't fasting. When everyone raised their hands up, then Allah would say, enter Jannah through Rayyan. When everyone has entered, it will be locked up again. Is it not worth fasting only to enter Rayyan? It's an opportunity because the shayateen are in chains. Someone may ask, if shaitan is in chain, why am I committing sin in Ramadan? Well, the shayateen, as far as the hadith is concerned, the Prophet said the first night of Ramadan, the big shayateens and the leaders of the jinn are chained. So the small shayateens are there. And so what could trigger an individual doing vice then? Could be 2 or 3. 1, we have shaitan among mankind and jinn. So the big shaitans are locked, but you have the man shaitan and the jinn shaitan. About them, Allah said in the Quran, Ash-shayateen al-jinna wal-ins. The shaitan among the jinn and mankind. So they're here within our midst. Another one is our desire that's within us, which is naturally inclined to commit evil. Naturally, the desire is inclined to be engaged in sin. Inna nafsa la'ammaratun bis-su'. Verily the soul is inclined towards evil. Without the guidance of Allah, that's our other problem. If the shayateen al-jinn al-ins are far away from you, the desire is here. And some of the shayateen that have not been locked up. Apart from all that, let's assume an individual was dealing with the big shayateen, the ones that are chained, for 11 months. So when they are locked during Ramadan, the effect of the effect that they had in him would still be there. You can drive a car at 100 kilometers an hour, switch off the engine, and it won't stop. It would still go. Have the heating on for 11 hours. When you switch it off, don't expect the heating to cool down within a minute or so. At least give it another hour to cool down. That's what happens. When the engine is off, the car is still running. If you want to put a stop to it, what would you do? Apply the brakes. So the shaitan is in chains. Let's apply the brakes. We have to fight against our desires. That's another means of applying the brakes. Use the means that are available to us. That's another means of applying the brakes. Let's make most of this Ramadan by helping the needy. Statistics shows that 60% of the world population are under $1. Just sit back and ask yourself, how much are you on a daily basis? 60%. So you are, if you earn at least 30 pounds a day, you are considered among the rich people of this ummah. More than 50% of the world population, I forgot that actual statistics, but majority of world population don't even have a bank account because there is no money to put in there. So everyone who has a bank account is considered among the rich. We don't underestimate what we are given by Allah at all. How much have you got left? When was the last time I have not eaten? When was the last time I decided not to eat simply because there is no food to eat? The fact of the matter is I'm looking for ways and means to stop eating. That's what's happening now. People can't stop eating. They're looking for ways and means to stop. We call it diet. I'm on a strict diet. And you think that's an achievement. And of course it is. But then that which you don't need, give it out to the needy. How much should I give? Allah has told you a long time ago. يَسْأَلُونَكَ مَاذَا يُنْفِقُونَ قُلِ الْعَفْوَ. They'll ask you, how much should they give? Tell them that which is in excess of their needs. Just give. Like I always said, this was not given to us by Shaitan. It was given to us by Allah. Allah said, give. Satan said, no, hold back. Allah said, don't listen to Satan, listen to me. Give. Satan said, no, don't listen to Allah, listen to me. Ash-shaytanu ya'idukumul faqra, wallahu ya'idukum maghfiratan wa fadla. So let's listen to Allah. The Prophet said, wallahi. Does he need to say wallahi? He said, our wealth does not get diminished by giving out in charity. The more you give, the more pleasing Allah it is. You know, by giving out, Allah, the Prophet said, you are protected from a bad death. A bad death. By giving out in charity, you are protected. Give out. Allah said, I will provide for you. And the Prophet said, wallahi, it's not going down. Let us not be niggardly.